The training camp was, it was, a little bit tough for me because I was a little bit injured to start, and so it was a bad start for me. I was only able to participate in like 5 days maybe, and then I started having some pain. So, but the overall feeling was just excitement for the new season. We had a bunch of new players, so we wanted to try to get them integrated with Anton, Miches, Savanovic, and in general, it was just that excited feel coming back from the off season after the championship. We had to integrate the new players, and we knew that it was going to be like a new challenge for everybody. The first half of the season was okay in the Bundesliga. For me, it was tough. I was watching from the sideline because I was battling my injury, but I was supporting my guys as much as possible. And I felt like in the EuroLeague we struggled a bit, but we had a couple big wins, like against Panathinaikos here at home. And in the Bundesliga, we were okay.
Welcome to the Mediolanum Forum in Milan, regular season round 8.
I was watching at home, and that was a crazy game because it came down to the last possession, I think, and then Hackett. And it was Anton's first game back from being out for like a month almost, and Hackett just really turned it on, and he had a crazy fourth quarter, and then he finished his performance with the game winner. So.
And we'll get the shot from the right man. Oh yes! Oh yes, Daniel Hackett! That was a quite remarkable second half from him.
It was tough to lose like that, especially because I felt like we played well enough to advance, but we had a really, really tough group when you look back at the teams who were in there. And I think that, when you consider the situation with the team as well as compared to our competition, we did the best that we could. I wouldn't say depression, but for a team like us who has such a high standard, losing is never really acceptable, especially against the lower Bundesliga teams. We're always fighting for that first position, so the road games are the toughest games, but those are also the games that you have to win. And then you see like games like that may end up hurting you in the playoffs because if you have that higher seed, then you normally you always have the home court advantage. And that's something that, even though, at that point it was like 6 months away, that's something that you always have to keep in mind. You can't afford to lose those type of games. We worked hard. We worked really hard all season long. We practiced our butts off, and we pushed each other. And even though there were times where we struggled, I felt like we had a team that was always resilient. Like we responded when things were challenging. I felt like that was sort of the identity of our team this year. That was a battle of wills, man. It was two teams who had worked hard all season long, and they could feel that this was, going to be a battle. And it was a back and forth, home and away. In the first 4 games, both teams protected their home court. And then in Game 5, it was just probably one of the best games I've been a part of. Just seeing the energy and the effort that guys played with and their desire, like you could see it in their eyes how bad our guys wanted to win. But Mihai was the guy who just carried us in that game. He played lights out, and after the game, he was so wired up, it looked like he could play another game. Well, we were riding so high emotionally after that Game 5 win against Alba that I felt like we just carried our momentum right into the first game, and we won pretty easily in Bamberg. And then we were up by 18 here at home in Game 2, and then I felt like we started watching the clock and we wanted the game to be over before we actually played, you know, the rest of the game. And then when that starts happening, you know, you start playing not to lose rather than playing to win, and that's like a mentality where you're defensive rather than aggressive. And I felt like that hurt us, and they played a good game. They fought back, and I think that was the turning point in the series, was Game 2. And then Game 4 was a great way for us to have our last game in front of our fans. You know, I was able to have a good game, and we just stepped up and we played with emotion and passion. It was really fun. It was one of my most fun games here in the Audi Dome that I can remember. It was sold out. You know, it was our elimination game. We knew that if we lost, our season would be over, and we didn't want to see them like holding up the trophy and celebrating, drinking beer and champagne on our floor, which we sweat and bled on and worked hard every day. So that was something that was in our minds, pushing us.
Amazing. You know, the fans have been great for us all season long, even the last 2 years for me. They're always positive, they always support us. They never boo us when we're struggling, so we have to thank them for this win today.
We went into Game 5 just with the mentality. We definitely felt like we could win there. We knew that we were capable of doing it because we had beat them twice in Bamberg already during the season. But it was difficult because we got off to a really poor start in Game 5. I think they were up 9-0 and then 12-2. So we were kind of fighting back the entire game, and it's always difficult to fight back. It takes a lot of energy, and Luka came in and made some huge shots for us, but it was just, we came up short. I felt like if we had like 3 more minutes to play, we probably could have or would have won the game. But like I said, in hindsight, you know. Difficult for us and for the club because we didn't bring home any titles. But at the same time, I still feel like we took a step forward with our fan support. It seemed like the energy in the building was incredible in the playoffs. And it just seemed like everything is moving in the right direction. Even though we didn't win the championship, we were competing down to the last game. And everybody saw that we were right there to bring it home. You know, there's no consolation in losing, but you can still learn and you can still progress and grow. And then as a team, I'm very proud of how we battled through everything. It was difficult, like I mentioned before, a lot of injuries and then also a lot of personal things that guys were going through. And it wasn't an easy season, it never is, you know. There's always a lot of challenges that we face, but I felt like in the playoffs we kind of showed our character, we showed what we were made of. And yeah, that's something that I can be proud of for sure.